Welcome to the program. I'm Millicent Walker. We begin with South Africa's ruling African National Congress, the ANC, as they have formally asked President Jacob Zuma to resign. At a press conference today, the ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule said that a delegation had visited Mr. Zuma and asked him to step down and that he would be given time and space to respond to the decision of the party. According to Magashule, the president had agreed in principle to resign under a proposed time frame extending from 3 to 6 months, but the ANC says it wants to act more quickly. President Zuma has resisted increasing pressure to quit since December when Cyril Ramaphosa replaced him as leader of the ANC.
We went with the DSG today to meet with the president and communicate the decision of the NEC. So as we communicated this decision, obviously we are giving him time and space to respond. We haven't given him any deadline to respond. As to whether he's going to resign or not, I think we are saying, in terms of our Constitution Rule 12, we are actually saying after constructive discussions and the fact that the problem is about the shortening the time, which the NEC could not agree to. Initially, it was our approach that probably is possible, because remember, the NEC officials, we are not a decision-making body. We are part of a collective. We then went to the NEC, but the NEC said because of transition and uncertainty, we really need to take a decision. So when we recall our deployee, we expect our deployee to do what the organization expects him to do. So I don't know what will happen, but let's leave it to President Jacob Zuma. Timelines, no, we were not going to him, but I think the NEC believes that this is an urgent matter, so it must be treated with agency.
Betty Dibia, our Channels Television South Africa Bureau Chief, joins us now via Skype. Hello, Betty. We've been waiting for this moment, and it has finally come. The ruling ANC deciding to recall President Jacob Zuma, plus President Zuma given time and space to respond. What are we expecting from President Zuma?
Well, many of the people in the country and many of those who are watching expect him to find the most dignified way to actually get out of this. He doesn't have too many choices. Even if this passes by without him agreeing to step down, which he has a right, to not agree. The parliament is waiting there with the opposition members and indeed some members of the ANC, although that won't tell well for the ANC as a political party, and they're trying to avoid that, because if you get to a vote of no confidence, the entire cabinet will have to step down along with the president. And some of the ANC will go down in history. The ANC is voting for the motion brought by the opposition, which is not good politically. But people expecting probably tomorrow, as we've been told, that he should respond by tomorrow to say, I accept to leave office, which is the wish of so many of South Africans. I mean, the interest of the country moving forward. That's what many people expect. Whether he will, since he's dragged this for this long, is another thing. But tomorrow we will find out. Although there was no timeline given to him, but we were told in the same breath that by tomorrow he will respond.
Tomorrow, you say, and to also think that President Zuma asked for 3 to 6 months transition period, which the ANC rejected. Opposition parties have called for the dissolution of the nation's parliament. Now, do you see this happening?
For the dissolution of parliament to pass, for that motion to pass, it needs the numbers. ANC has the numbers, and it just wouldn't be neat at all for the parliament to be dissolved. Everybody leaves office, and then early elections have to be called. I don't think the ANC would want that. It's not as if they still don't have the numbers to win elections, probably not to the extent that they would have won, but it wouldn't be neat at all for that to happen. So if that comes up in Parliament, the opposition party members know that in particular, which is not asking Zuma to step down, it's just the ANC leaving power for some time. I do not see that passing through because the ANC still has over 60% of the 400-seat parliament in the country.
A closer look at the political party, the ANC. Well, we understand that ANC's leader, Cyril Ramaphosa, reportedly left the executive meeting to inform President Zuma of the party's decision demanding his resignation. Does this translate to support from Ramaphosa for Jacob Zuma?
The ANC is a big party. Things have gone wrong for the president. That doesn't mean he didn't contribute to the party. And we know that, especially in African context, they're trying very hard to give him respect, give him regard, and not humiliate him out of office. I know some would say what goes wrong comes around, especially the way that the former president, Thabo Mbeki, was recalled and he had to resign and leave office. But I think it's still in the spirit of finding a more respectful way to let the president out of this situation and lead the party so that the country will move on. That's just it. The party lasted the meeting lasted quite long. We were there about 2 p.m. It started at 2 p.m. and lasted to the early hours of the morning. And he went to communicate that himself, the outcome of the party, to let the president know this is what we have decided. It's all respect. Nothing more, than that. It's all respect for the former leader of the president and the person who actually brought him into executive office as well. Remember, President Zuma had another, Halima Motlanthe, who was his deputy. But in 2014, during the elections, it was Cyril Ramaphosa who he chose to be his deputy. So it's all respect and nothing more than that. But this morning, 2 other members of the top 6 actually went to let him know again, formally, this is what we have decided and we expect a response from you. And they gave him space to look at it. He asked for time, as we have heard, but I don't think the nation will be waiting for that. South Africa is currently the chairman of SADC, which is the Southern African Development Community, and then I think he's still the chairman of BRICS, the country, that's the grouping with Russia, Brazil, India, China, and South Africa. So probably he wants.
Betty, I was actually just going to finally ask you with regards to, how the people feel with regards to all that is taking place. I mean, there's the parliament on the one hand and, of course, the neck of the ANC on the other. What have you been hearing about, moving forward?
We spoke to a number of people. People want whoever is in the wrong to not lead them, and people, above everything else, people want the country to move on. People want what they call service delivery, provision of social amenities in the country, and they feel whoever is in office and doesn't do right by the people shouldn't be in that office. And that doesn't mean you don't have people who are saying, leave this man to finish his term, but I think we've gone beyond that at this point. But opinion is divided, but more people are asking for the president to actually leave office immediately.
Many thanks, Betty Divya, our Channels Television South Africa Bureau Chief, for joining us on the program. Well, we'll definitely be bringing you more on that. But Jacob Zuma is widely regarded as the most colourful and controversial president South Africa has had since white minority rule ended in 1994. He is seen as a politician with 9 lives, surviving a series of scandals which could have surely ended anyone else's career.
Born on April 12, 1942, Jacob Zuma is the 4th president of South Africa. He served as deputy president to South Africa from 1999 to 2005, but was dismissed by President Thabo Mbeki in 2005 after Mr. Zuma's financial advisor, Shabir Shaik, was convicted for soliciting a bribe for him. Zuma was nonetheless elected president of the African National Congress on December 18, 2007, after defeating Mbeki at the ANC conference in Polokwane. On September 28, 2008, Mbeki announced his resignation after being recalled by the ANC's National Executive Committee. Zuma led the ANC to victory in the 2009 general election and was elected president of South Africa.
I, Jacob Zuma, swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa and will obey, observe, uphold, and maintain the Constitution and all other law.
He was re-elected as the ANC leader at the party's conference on December 18, 2012, defeating challenger Kgalema Motlanthe by a large majority. He remained president of South Africa after the 2014 general elections, although his party suffered a decline in support, partly due to growing dissatisfaction with Zuma as president.
Hey, Mr. Zuma, you and your government don't represent me. You represent your own interests. And I'm warning you, I really am warning you, out of love. I am warning you like I warned the nationalists. I am warning you. One day, we will start praying for the defeat of the ANC government.
Mr. Zuma has faced significant legal challenges before and during his presidency. He was charged with rape in 2005 but was acquitted. He has also fought a long legal battle over allegations of racketeering and corruption resulting from his financial advisor Shabir Shaik's conviction for corruption and fraud. On April 6, 2009, the National Prosecuting Authority dropped the charges against Zuma, citing political interference, although the decision was successfully challenged by opposition parties, and as of February 2018, the charges are before the NPA for reconsideration. After extensive state-funded upgrades to his rural homestead at Nkandla, the public prosecutor found that Mr. Zuma had benefited improperly from the expenditure. He has also been implicated in reports of state capture through his friendship with the influential Gupta family. However, he has survived multiple motions of no confidence, both in parliament and within the ANC. But Zuma, the man born into poverty, who went into exile to fight apartheid before rising to become the people's president, may not be able to survive forever.